When it comes to social media and seeing all your friends travel to these exotic locales and coming back with these amazing stories, it's easy to get FOMO if you're somebody that doesn't travel very often. But I'm here to tell you that there are 5 totally valid reasons that you should not travel. I spent about half of my life traveling. Part of the reason is because I like it a lot. But another part of the reason is that it is cheaper for me to travel than to live in my home state of California, and I don't make a ton of money. Traveling can be really expensive, especially if you're going to the most popular tourist destinations like Hawaii, Tokyo, or Paris. While traveling certainly can be cheap if you travel to countries where you have a favorable exchange rate or places that aren't super popular for tourists. Like, I'm living in the second largest city in Taiwan for $130 a month. It took my parents about 6 months to figure out that I was in Taiwan and not Thailand. But the expense of traveling can be especially hard if you don't have any paid time off. Like, I am self-employed. My main job is my other YouTube channel. That's my full-time thing. Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. I don't make nearly as much money when I'm just sitting around and bumming around and not making videos compared to when I'm making videos. And then there's also the big YouTube fear that if I'm not uploading enough, my channel's going to die. If you can't get paid time off of work or vacation from work, it becomes a lot harder to travel, and that's totally fine if you can't travel for that reason. Just because everybody's telling you to travel and just because it's the romantic thing to do, don't let that fear of missing out drive you to be irresponsible with your budget. Being places is great, but traveling itself and getting to those places kinda sucks. Nobody likes waking up at 3 in the morning to catch their flight. Nobody likes sitting in Ubers for hours on end. And nobody likes trying to coordinate train schedules, bus schedules, and your flights so that you could go take a picture in front of some tourist attraction that nobody cares about. I mean, maybe people care about that tourist attraction, but nobody cares about your picture in front of the tourist attraction. I've had trips that were so grueling just to get to the destination that it actually legitimately completely ruined being at that destination. I would have been better off staying at home. Just last week, I went to Lanyu, which is a small offshore island in the south of Taiwan, super close to the Philippines. And people go there for the natural beauty, to see the mountains, and to go hiking, appreciate the local indigenous culture, and to go diving and see the incredible underwater beauty. But to get to Lanyu, you have to take a 2-hour ferry trip from mainland Taiwan to the offshore islands, and it is a rough ride, let me tell you. I get seasick really easily, and that 2-hour trip put me out of commission for the entire 4-day trip that we were supposed to be there. I was bedridden. I was so dizzy. Whenever I got up, I would vomit. The only thing I wanted to do there was lie down and sleep, which I did for 16 hours in a single day. Look, it doesn't matter if you're on the beach. If you're at the hospital right next to the beach getting an anti-seasickness shot so that you can walk straight and stop throwing up uncontrollably. A lot of people treat traveling as just a checklist. You went to that location and that makes you a more adventurous person, but the whole point of traveling is to actually enjoy your time in a new place and to learn some things about the place, your home, and yourself. Sometimes getting to the place that you're supposed to be on vacation, having a trip, having fun, can be so grueling and so taxing on your body that you end up having absolutely no fun and just wanting to go home. And maybe the point of traveling is that sometimes it sucks so much that you appreciate home more. You might spend all this time and money to have a bad time. There is no fun guarantee when you buy a plane ticket or book a hotel. So on the same trip last week, I took with my girlfriend's family to Lanyu, the offshore island, and I wasn't the only one that had a rough time on that trip. My girlfriend rented a scooter on the island. Everybody rides scooters here, it's totally normal. But the island is super windy, so windy that when you're riding a scooter, you could just get pushed over and toppled over completely by the wind. And that's exactly what happened. The wind shoved my girlfriend Chloe while she was riding a scooter like a Karen at a Black Friday sale so hard, pardon my French, that she ate shit at a complete stop. The doctor who addressed my girlfriend's wounds were even saying that the wind is so strong on the island that he's even seen 100 plus kilogram guy, that's like 200 plus pounds, easily get toppled over by the wind while riding a scooter and get all scraped up just like she did. Travel, injury, travel. For pretty much the entire trip, we were both bedridden, me with seasickness or sleeping off the side effects of seasickness medication, and her sleeping after taking a bunch of painkillers. It was kind of miserable, if I'm being honest. My girlfriend Chloe had to get 7 stitches in her foot because when the scooter toppled over, a part of it stabbed her. She's still just barely able to walk, and she won't be back to 100% in probably another month and a half. Oh my gosh, travel! Or maybe you just love being home. I travel a lot, but I have to make a lot of sacrifices to leave home. Between my dog, because I'm away from him so much, at this point, it's just my parents' dog. Not being able to play drums, which is one of my greatest joys in life. Being away from friends and family, you know, the stuff that makes me happy. There's this idea in the travel blog and productivity YouTube sphere that if you don't travel, you're somehow stuck in the comfort zone, giving people that do travel this holier than thou, stuck up attitude towards people that don't travel. But it's like, just because you bought a plane ticket doesn't make you better than anybody else. And just because you choose to stay home doesn't mean you're stuck in a comfort zone. You could be doing plenty of things at home that are furthering yourself as a person. I am genuinely excited to go back home to my hometown, Sacramento. In Sacramento, we joke you're 2 hours away from where you want to be. But there's still a lot of things in my hometown that I really love, that I miss whenever I leave home. My dog, my family, there's still a lot of things that I want to do when I get home that I can't do as easily or in the same way when I'm traveling. And things that are still furthering myself as a person and challenging myself. Like, I want to host a 100-mile fixed gear group ride, which is, it's stupid, but it's gonna be so fun. I wanna go bike camping in my area with some friends. I wanna learn new songs on the drums. I wanna play music with my friends in the garage. I wanna make and sell new merch for my main channel, or even just something simple, like I wanna go back to cooking every meal for myself every day. Look, I know I could cook here, but it's like, it costs like $3 to $5 to eat out, and it's not like much cheaper to cook here. Taiwan is too convenient, and you shouldn't travel simply if you don't want to travel. That's a reason that isn't appreciated enough anymore. You shouldn't have to do anything if you don't want to. You shouldn't feel pressured by your friends to travel. You shouldn't feel pressured by social media to travel. You're still a whole and complete person, even if you stay at home. By no means should you be gaslighted into thinking that you're stuck in your comfort zone if you never travel. Because the fact of the matter is, traveling isn't for everybody. Traveling is really expensive. It sucks. You need to have a lot of time or a lot of flexibility with your job. Sometimes it's just not fun.
That's the boat.
I can't wait. I love boats. Sometimes being home is better. And if you're somebody that doesn't like traveling, don't feel so bad about it, because I would argue that Jesus is the most important person, most influential person to ever walk the face of the earth, and he never traveled further than 100 miles from his hometown. So if you have some terrible travel stories, let me know them in the comments.